Welcome to Money Depth Insights. I am the finance guide, John Nell. Today, we are talking about the psychology of money, not as a theory from books, but as a real force that quietly shapes financial outcomes through everyday decisions, habits, and emotional reactions. Most people believe money problems are caused by low income, bad luck, or lack of information. While those factors matter, they are rarely the main reason people struggle long term. The deeper issue is emotional behavior. Money decisions are not made with calculators. They are made with feelings. This is the part nobody teaches you. Money is not just a tool. It is a psychological mirror. It reflects fear, insecurity, ambition, impatience, and identity. Two people with the same income can experience completely different financial lives because they relate to money differently. One of the strongest emotional forces in money is fear. Fear makes people avoid investing. Fear makes people hold too much cash. Fear makes people delay decisions until opportunities pass. Fear does not look dramatic. It looks like caution. It looks like waiting. It looks like being responsible. But over long periods, fear quietly creates stagnation. Another powerful force is greed. Greed does not always look reckless. It often looks like optimism. It looks like chasing high returns. It looks like jumping into trends. It looks like believing this time is different. Greed pushes people to take risks they do not fully understand, usually when prices are already high. Fear keeps people out of opportunities. Greed pulls people into mistakes. Most financial damage happens in this emotional cycle. A common pattern is buying when things feel safe and selling when things feel uncomfortable. This behavior feels logical in the moment. In reality, it reverses the math of wealth building. People buy high and sell low, not because they are unintelligent, but because their nervous system is reacting to uncertainty. Another emotional trap is comparison. People constantly measure their progress against others. Social media amplifies this effect. You see highlight reels of success without seeing risk, timing, or luck. This creates pressure to move faster, take shortcuts, or copy strategies that do not fit your life. Comparison destroys patience. And patience is the foundation of wealth. One of the least discussed psychological issues is identity. People form beliefs about who they are with money. I am bad with money. I am not an investor. I am just not good at finance. These beliefs become self-fulfilling. Behavior follows identity more than logic. When someone believes money is stressful, they avoid looking at accounts. When someone believes investing is dangerous, they avoid learning. When someone believes wealth is for other people, they never design a system to build it. Another emotional pattern is treating money as a source of immediate relief. People spend to feel better. They borrow to reduce discomfort. They upgrade lifestyles to feel successful. These decisions are rarely about the purchase. They are about emotional regulation. Short-term relief often creates long-term pressure. One of the most common mistakes is confusing income growth with wealth growth. When people earn more, they often spend more. Lifestyle inflation happens quietly. The extra income disappears into better cars, nicer homes, more subscriptions, and more convenience. The emotional reward comes immediately. The financial cost appears slowly. This pattern keeps people working harder without becoming more stable. Another psychological issue is impatience. People want fast results. They abandon good strategies too early. They change plans when progress feels slow. They chase exciting opportunities instead of boring consistency. Wealth is built through long periods of ordinary behavior. Most people quit before compounding becomes visible. Another hidden factor is loss aversion. Humans feel losses more strongly than gains. This makes people hold losing investments too long and sell winning investments too early. The emotional pain of being wrong becomes more important than long-term logic. This is why people often sabotage their own portfolios without realizing it. People also overestimate their emotional tolerance. They think they can handle volatility until it actually happens. When markets fall, panic replaces strategy. Decisions become reactive. The problem is not lack of intelligence. It is lack of emotional structure. This is why systems matter more than motivation. Automated investing. Predefined rules. Long-term plans. These remove emotional decision-making from the process. Another overlooked issue is that people treat money decisions as isolated events. They do not see patterns. They do not track behavior. They do not reflect on mistakes. Without reflection, the same emotional mistakes repeat quietly for decades. Money psychology also interacts with scarcity thinking. People who grew up with financial stress often develop hyper-defensive behavior. They avoid risk completely. They hoard cash. They fear loss more than they value growth. This protects them in emergencies but limits them long-term. On the other side, people who experience early success often develop overconfidence. They take bigger risks. They ignore warning signs. They assume skill when luck played a role. Both patterns lead to instability. One of the healthiest shifts people make is separating emotion from money decisions. They stop reacting to headlines. They stop chasing trends. They stop panicking during downturns. They design processes instead of relying on feelings. Another important insight is that wealth building is not a test of intelligence. It is a test of behavior. Calm behavior. Consistent behavior. Patient behavior. Most people know what they should do. Very few people do it consistently. This is why personal finance is mostly personal psychology. Another real-world observation is that people underestimate how much stress affects money decisions. When life is chaotic, money behavior becomes chaotic. Impulse spending increases. Planning decreases. Avoidance increases. This is why financial improvement often begins with simplifying life, not optimizing spreadsheets. People who succeed long-term often describe their strategies as boring. That boredom is protective. It prevents emotional overreaction. It prevents impulsive decisions. It supports consistency. The goal is not to eliminate emotion. That is impossible. The goal is to design systems that function even when emotions fluctuate. This is why experienced investors and wealthy individuals rely on structure more than motivation. They automate good behavior. They limit bad choices. They reduce friction for discipline. Over time, their money grows not because they are smarter, but because they make fewer emotional mistakes. Another key insight is that financial progress accelerates when people stop trying to feel rich and start trying to become stable. Stability creates confidence. Confidence supports patience. Patience enables compounding. This psychological loop is more powerful than any investment strategy. The psychology of money nobody teaches you is this: your biggest financial enemy is not the market. It is your emotional reactions to uncertainty, comparison, and discomfort. Your greatest financial advantage is not intelligence. It is calm, consistent, long-term behavior. When people understand this, they stop chasing shortcuts. They stop panicking during downturns. They stop comparing their progress to others. They start designing systems that work quietly in the background. They start building wealth that feels stable, not stressful. If this perspective helped you understand your own money behavior more clearly, share your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe this understanding can help someone in your colleague or friend circle, make sure to share it with them. Education grows when knowledge is shared. This video is created for educational purposes only. For more calm, practical, and long-term financial understanding, subscribe to Money Depth Insights. I am the Finance Guide, John Nell, and I will see you in the next session.